Welcome to Not in Real Estate with me, National Core, and Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome back to the new year. We look forward to having engagements with you this new year as we begin to delve deeper into real estate and construction matters. Now, as we begin the year, I just want to, this episode, talk about what I see as the projections of real estate in 2024 in Kenya. So what basically are the projections that we expect to see? Of course, we live in a market that is dynamic. Things could change and shift the market basically. But generally speaking, what do I see as real estate projections for Kenya in this new year? First of all, let me say that usually a year after election is quite good for us in the real estate market, or the market, let me say the market cycles has taught us that a year after elections, when you go 1 year after we've had a general elections in this country, usually it's a good time to invest. So if there's a time to, and I'm saying this with all honesty, it's a time that you need to, if you want to invest in real estate, this will be a good year. This will be a good year. We've clocked the whole year of 2023 after election and jumping 1 year after elections. The market cycles have incredibly taught us that a year after election, fantastic for investment. So if you're thinking of investing in real estate, you're thinking of, doing the whole development up, you are thinking of buying some real estate, house for rental, Airbnb, whatever it is, some commercial space that you want to invest in, whatever it is that you want to do in real estate, including land buying, this would be a good year. So let me start on that platform, that we are beginning a month, a new year, into a market cycle that usually is good for real estate market. And I'm saying this with a lot of carefulness, knowing that the market changes. This market usually change a lot. But look, I think we have, in my view, stabilized a bit. We've done with the finance bill and the cost that we expected to hit us because of the new government policies. We've seen the shape that affordable housing has now taken. It's more or less what we saw in 2017 to 2022 under the second term of Uhuru administration. We've seen the taxations that have come in, be it the import tax. We've seen how that is playing. We've seen the government policy towards the real estate and construction. So we've tested that in a year. So basically we've seen what we would rather expect in the next 4 years with this administration. And I'm saying that because government policies affect a lot what happens in any industry. Real estate is not an exception. So that tried and tested, we sort of feel they're going to normalize a bit. Of course, with the high cost of construction that came last quarter of last year, that will sort of roll off throughout this year. I don't think that will change so much, though I still feel there will be some price changes in terms of cement and most likely steel, but cement, because I do not think we have enough clinker locally to produce the cement that we require in the construction sector, and having in mind that we have overtaxed, or we have put a taxation on importation of clinker. So I think the cement price will still play a bit on the higher side. If it comes down, most unlikely, I think that we'll see that a lot going into the year, unless government comes to its senses and remove taxation on clinker or lowers that taxation cost. I think that will go up. Steel prices will still play. The Russia-Ukraine war is still going on. Russia is the third largest producer of steel, supplies almost 150 countries globally, and combined with Ukraine, they supply 20% of the global steel. So that was still going up. As we will still see steel prices playing a lot. I think I expect it to do so also on the backdrop of, I think, the 10% importation cost on on the steel raw materials that we use locally. Those two items, those two materials, I think will continue to play in terms of cost variations or on the increase side, on the upper end of cost increase. So on the real estate side, I think people expect the government affordable housing to affect the market. I don't. Honestly, I don't. With all due respect, I don't think there is anything government does properly in the global south. Yeah. I mean, I would like to be challenged though, but I do not think there is anything government does perfectly in this country, for example. So, affordable housing, however a good idea it may be, execution will be a problem as usual. The lethargy of government bureaucracies and all those things, it won't affect the market. There's still a big chunk of market on real estate. Because I know a lot of people are fearing that the affordable housing agenda of the government may distort the markets. Personally, I don't think it will. The Wood administration second term, there was that fear as well between 2017 and 2022. It didn't distort the market. I do not think it will distort the market now. They will build houses. They will not build houses that will bring a housing surplus into the market. It won't happen. There's nothing government does well in this country. This will not be an exception. So affordable housing is a good idea. Second administration running, government focus on housing, good for the industry. Will it succeed or not? It's not something for this episode. I've discussed that severally before. Real estate is going to continue to head to what I call satellite towns. I think we're going to see that a lot in this year. There is a strong urge. There is a strong urge for the single-digit housing, single-digit house prices. That's what we call it. House prices that are single digits. That's basically houses below 10 million. There's that. You can see that proper urge to have single digits selling prices, and that's houses that are 10 million and below. To achieve that, we have to head to the satellite towns. So I think there's going to be an incredible move of real estate to the satellite towns. That I guarantee. So be it your Jujas, we headed to the Ngongs, the satellite areas like the Kiambu, the Tindiguas, going all the way towards Kiambu town. We will head towards, way past Mlolongo now, we're in Kitangelas and Athi Rivers, and still going down. Those will be a lot of real estate going into the banana areas and Gashie. It will continue this year, I think, on a stronger note because land prices in those areas are still low. And if you're going to reduce your sale prices to single digit prices, you're going to head to satellites. So I think there's going to be that move to the satellite towns. Also, just because I think that's where the market is. Yeah, there is no big impetus to do the high-end houses anymore. Not that there's zero market demand there, it's there, but that buyer profile has shrinked. Okay, so there's a strong market for the middle class, and if you're going to satisfy the middle class, it has to be in the satellite town areas. So I think there's going to be that move to the satellite town areas. I think we'll still expect to see building collapses. I think that's obvious. Nothing much has been done by the people concerned to stop that. It's just all this hula baloo of building collapse, to do press statements. That's what we saw in 2023. I think we will see building collapses this year. It won't surprise me unless the people concerned put their foot down and address the issues of building collapses, which again I've discussed before. I don't want to discuss what are the issues to bring building collapses, but in the industry they're obvious. We will see building guns down. Unfortunately, yes, you can call me a prophet of doom or so, but buildings are going to collapse this year. There are a lot of issues that still are unaddressed that are causing building collapses. They remain unaddressed. But I think the industry will bounce. I think I personally expect it to grow better than 2023, primarily because in 2023 it was so uncertain. New administrations, we are trying to look, people are scared what policies they're going to put. I think we've learned the Root administration, what they want to do. We've seen their policies, we've seen whoever they have thrown into the field to chair some of these ministries and departments. So we see the heads, we hear them talk, we see what they want to do. So we're certain what they want to do. So I think just on the backdrop of that, I think the industry, I personally expect it to grow better than last year. We are more or less stable. If I may put in quote, we are stable this year. We've seen all those policies in place. Unless something drastic happens in terms of taxations and all those things, I think the industry is focused on to bounce back. And to bounce back probably means to grow better than last year. In terms of foreign investors, I think we continue to attract that big. We will continue to attract, especially 1 year after elections. We are one of the most stable countries in this region and probably Africa. So we will continue to see probably an influx of that, of big money push from foreign investors into our real estate and construction. That's going to continue. I don't expect anything short than that. We are now stable, for better lack of a word. But look, I think it's a good year for the industry. We have professionals, good contractors. Of course, shortcuts will continue to be a problem. In our industry, we haven't trained enough on the quack developers and all these things. So it would surprise me if there would be some loud cries from buyers of off-land and all that this year. I think we still have bad eggs amongst us, and there are quite a number that needs to be removed from the industry. They are still there. Their aim is to con. People are waking up into this new year with the aim to con. So we will see that. I don't expect anything short than that. And just coupled with the idea that Kenyans are very gullible in real estate, so some people will fall for those things. But generally speaking, I think I'm very sanguine about this year. I'm very optimistic about the new year. The projections look good. 1 year after elections, we're going to have a good year in real estate. Thank you.